Hey,
What's up?
welcome. Welcome to another crossover episode.
Yeah.
Another fun crossover episode. Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. He is Jim.
I am indeed.
I am Mike.
This is Mike.
And we have our friend, Abigail, from the Manic Pixie Weirdo Show on with us. And then we're going to be on a bonus episode of hers later on this week.
It's going to be awesome. Her show that we do with her is a little bit more on the serious side. Our show is obviously the more ridiculous stuff. We've come together
Yes.
to create this Voltron of support because
Yes.
October is Depression Awareness Month.
Yes.
And both of us hold that very close to our hearts. And we have come together to design a T-shirt that you can get right now on baconismypodcast.com or on Manic Pixie Weirdo Podcast.com.
Right.
Check out either and tell them about the shirt.
So we were on her show earlier, and we were talking about Avengers Endgame and just the crappy month that Thor must have gone through. And you go through all the changes. You gain weight, you stop giving a crap and all that kind of stuff. So what we've decided to do is create an I Had A Thor Month shirt.
Yeah, we've all done it. We've all had a Thor month.
Right, exactly. So yeah, you go to one of our sites, buy a shirt, 100% of the proceeds go to the mental awareness foundation.
Yes, the Mental Awareness Foundation. If you go to mentalawarenessfoundation.org, you can find out more information about them. What they do is they support charities that are working directly with communities that are raising awareness for depression, mental illness, and creating a support system. So we thought that, we're not professionals in any way, shape, or form, but what can we do? We can make a fun-looking T-shirt, and we can make it an Avengers thing because we're nerds, and we can sell it, and we can just give all the money to them. So 100% of the proceeds are going directly to the Mental Awareness Foundation. Everything goes there, and we're here to support.
Yeah. So without further ado,
Yeah, let's jump into it. So check it out. This is the Bacon is My Podcast episode of the crossover.
yes.
Enjoy. When's it going to start?
Wait for it.
Mhm.
Wait. One. Wait. Now,
There it is.
everybody, welcome. Abigail, the Manic Pixie Weirdo, is here,
Indeed.
and we're going to talk to you a little bit about
Podcasting,
podcasting,
life,
things, and such.
a really cool T-shirt that we all put out because there are topics that are near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All that to follow shortly. In today's thrilling episode of
Dun, dun, dun.
Bacon is My Podcast.
What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy and Mike. And yeah, we have Abigail, the Manic Pixie Weirdo from the Manic Pixie Weirdo Show. This is the part one.
Yeah.
This is going to be 2 parts. So this
Yeah,
could be torture
We're the
because
opener, and we should see what's going on. We'll see what happens.
yeah.
In her show, please listen and subscribe and jump on the follow-up show. Jump on the Manic Pixie Weirdo Show because you're going to know in that show whether this went well or not. Because if Abigail sounds like she's ready to kill us and she's just like, I just want this to be over, then you know it went well.
It'll be her first 5-minute show.
Yeah.
She'll be ready to get down to the cutting table, and she's gonna be like, these guys are idiots. 5-minute episode.
I can already say, Abigail, my favorite thing right now about you is that for the people that are watching, you can see it. And for the people that are not watching, it's great because you're laughing, but you laugh silently. Yeah. Which is amazing because none of our jokes are going to land.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be like, people are going to listen to them and be like, she hates them.
Crickets. Man.
We'll try and get some cricket sounds to put in there in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a laugh track. I'll just give you a laugh track.
Exactly. But I love that. I have one of my best friends in the world Her name's Mary Kate, and she laughs and actually says the word ha 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 when she laughs. And it's amazing. Like she'll laugh, she'll be like ha 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 ha. And it's the best. She's done it since high school. And
I've never seen her do that.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's amazing. I'm sure she'll comment on this underneath for me blowing up that spot, and I'll probably get a text and a phone call about it. But it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And your silent laugh is definitely in my top tier because no one's gonna know if we're funny.
Yeah. I mean,
I do. For the record, I am laughing like hysterically. You just can't hear it.
Which is amazing. I love it.
So yeah, tell everybody before they, before we get into all the fun stuff. Well, this is fun stuff too. But what is your show about? Like, I love it. Like we did do an episode with you, and it's a lot about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot about like real world issues. It's a lot of nothing that we talk about.
Yeah, ours
it
was
like
endgame,
matters,
right? We talked about endgame.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We did.
We dove deep.
She had to like lower.
Yeah, she lowered the bar for us, which was
for
great.
a lot of
we
it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. To get our demographic. I get it. But yeah, like tell us about how you came up with your direction on it, because I feel like it's definitely a cathartic thing too. I know it is for us, but what made you want to tackle this?
I love podcasts. So I have a very long, arduous relationship with podcasts in general. I kind of at the very first wave when nobody knew what podcasts even were. Like I got in then. And I knew I kind of wanted to do a podcast. It seemed like fun, but I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. So I like put it off for a while. And then my mom and I were actually supposed to do it together because it was our idea. But like conflict, like with scheduling and stuff like that sort of came about. So I ended up just like taking our idea and running with it. And my mom's been on the show and we talk about relationships, and I just wanted something different because it was like, we don't talk about like just your relationship with your spouse or your relationship with like your parents or your brothers and sisters. Like we talk about all of them, like everything, like how you relate to the world. And so we talk about wrestling. We talk about Endgame. It's like one of my favorite episodes we did. We talk about like depression as it centers around climate change. We talk about animals. We talk about your relationship with like the sex industry, like all of the things. So that's a little bit about the show.
That's definitely one thing that I really like, and I'm glad you went into that about it, because just to say like it's a podcast about relationships, it doesn't give the full picture. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I think is really cool because I think when you dive deep into it, everything that you do is a relationship of some kind. Anything that matters to you is a relationship of some kind, and it affects you in a similar way. So I thought it was really fun that we did like Endgame, because it was such a cool thing to like just dive into and be like, yeah, it made me feel this way. How did it make you feel?
These
and
it
does.
Who do you
that.
relate to? Like,
and
man.
And I like it, especially it kind of it's a parallel in some ways to ours, but a much wider and deeper
Definitely deeper.
Because our whole thing about like what's your bacon is all about like, hey, what in life, the way that bacon makes everything you put it with better, what's that thing in your life that makes your day-to-day better? What's your bacon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's doing yours and listening to your podcast and everything made me feel kind of the same way, where it was like, oh, that's so cool. It's all encompassing though. It can go any direction. And I think it's super interesting, and it's a super interesting like topic for a podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Well, I needed it to be that. I needed it to be that wide open, because I go down rabbit holes all the time, and they're just like in various and like on sundry places. And so like my podcast is my way of like dragging other people down those rabbit holes and going, look at this. This is crazy.
Well, it's so funny too. Like you're doing pretty well with it, and it's a great listen. But I keep hearing like everybody's like, oh, you got to have a niche. You got to have a niche. You got to have a niche.
Right.
And you can't you can't do this and you can't do music and wrestling and video games and movies and this and that and be serious. It's like, no, people feel all of those things.
Yeah.
So why couldn't you put them all together? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, do you kind of feel conflicted every once in a while? Like, do some topics do better than others, or?
You know what? The topics that I actually have gotten like the most are always the ones that I'm going, oh my gosh, I messed that up so bad. Going, oh my god, maybe I should redo it. Should we redo it? Should I like go back and tell them that I lost it and like we have to do it again? Like all of like those are always the ones that do like the best. So like one that came out of nowhere that like seems to be doing really well is my relationship with the concept of reality.
Yes.
Yeah. That's an interesting topic. I like that.
And I like went down the philosophical rabbit hole of it all. And like, I was like, that was one that I was like, oh my gosh, I sound like an idiot. I sound like a crazy person. Like this is insane. Like, who am I like, what am I doing? People actually, turns out that's the one that like is drawing the most people in right now. So.
All right. So, we just played the fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw our new sponsor next to us at the fair.
Right.
Any of you that have ever been to festivals, one of the coolest spots to go to is that spot that's selling you sodas where the copper mugs.
Oh, they're the best.
Wild Bill's, dude.
Yes. And you don't just have to go to a fair to get their stuff anymore. You can go to drinkwildbills.com and they'll send it right to your house.
They sent that ginormous box to us.
Huge box of stuff, and it made me realize that Wild Bill's isn't just soda.
Yeah, I thought it was at first, but man, the like jerky and
nuts and coffee.
Oh man, snack foods, coffee, everything.
And if you go there now, drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code BACON, of course, and you get 10% off.
Oh, dude, check it out. Stick with us because we're going to be letting you know how that coffee tastes. We're going to be doing some tasting episodes on literally everything in the box.
Yes.
So stick with us. But, dude, you've had it. You've been at fairs. I've bought it. I bought that mug. It's awesome. I love it.
And now, again, we're heading into the winter months. It's going to get a little colder. No more fairs. Just have it delivered right to your door.
Drinkwildbills.com.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say. Once. Well, I think like anything else, you start to realize that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like it the more you are worried about something, it means the more like probably genuine and unprepared your responses and your things are. So it kind of is more of a complete window into you. And that's where a lot of people relate because I've found just doing this one, and I found through doing music and everything like that, there's a lot more of us weirdos out there than there aren't.
Well, but that's the best feeling, though, is it not?
Absolutely, yeah, right?
Like, yes.
Yeah, I'm not alone. But I think that for me, like, I think that might be because we've had similar things where we're like, oh, is this a good one? And it's like the ones that do well are the ones where we completely are off script, quote unquote, as if we had one, and just kind of go down those rabbit holes with people. And it seems like those are the ones people gravitate to because like people do that, that's what the conversation is.
I think it's insane. Like I worry about it. I don't think I could, but you do some episodes just straight up on your own too.
Mm-hmm.
I've stumbled across a few of those, and if I didn't have like him, or I had a podcast with my wife a while back. If I didn't have somebody to play off of, I don't know what the hell I would do. How do you? I mean, what frame of mind do you get in to be like, I'm going to talk about this topic?
You make it sound so difficult. You make it sound super hard. And I'm telling you, I'm just really good at talking to myself for long periods of time.
That's awesome.
Like that's all. I mean, sometimes you need expert advice, and then sometimes you need to go a little crazy, a little bit. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah, I just got really good, and then I decided to put a microphone in front of my face and go, just record it, see what happens.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It totally does. I can sit. I guess like it's that and I know you have. You'll sit for an hour and you'll think about one thing, and you'll go down every possible aspect of that thing. It's just doing it out loud and then recording it.
Yeah.
Which is way harder than I just made it sound, because I don't know if I could do it either. I think that's pretty amazing. I can talk a lot.
It definitely like makes me sound crazy because I am definitely just like staring at the wall, like talking into a microphone for like an hour. What's
great is if you didn't have the microphone and you weren't doing a podcast, you might sound crazy. But because there's a microphone and a podcast, completely sane. It's content.
Right.
I love it. Okay, I like your rationale. I'm using it.
That's what turns people from crazy to spectacular.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I see, you know what, I got to be honest. Seeing a microphone in front of somebody's face is way better than I play the game Bluetooth or Crazy in the car all the time, and I'll look and I'll be like, yeah, this guy's batshit.
Right.
Or and then he'll turn and he'll be like, damn it, he's got an AirPod.
Oh, I love this game. That sounds so fun.
It is. Yeah. It is great.
We recommend it. I do the same thing. Although I know that I'm the crazy one a lot because I do vocal warm-ups in my car. Yeah. So literally people will turn to see me and I'll just be like, ha, 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 ha. And I make big giant faces when I'm doing it because it's part of it. I just start looking at people and like pointing at them and stuff, and I give them the guns. I'm just like, ha, 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 ha. I'm just, I'm crazy. Really, go for it. Yeah, you got it. You got it. You'd be like, you know what? I don't want you just to feel weird about this right now. I want you to commit it to memory so that you can tell someone later.
Take this
absolutely,
home with you.
Absolutely. That's always the goal.
We're gonna make this interaction the gift that keeps on giving.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Feel free to laugh. It's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Every move you make is potentially interactive.
Yeah.
It's great. She's laughing, folks. She's laughing.
I am.
For the record.
I promise.
Well, you know what we should do? We should throw in one of those live studio audience laughs.
Yeah. A really bad
laugh.
Old one.
Yeah, you've got to.
And we'll do the like when the guest star comes in, or everybody's the fan favorite character, and everybody goes woo!
All right, I'll start looking for this. He's coming up with all these sound effects because this one's my edit. Yeah. So
it's been a while. It's been a while since I stuck you with one.
Yep. So he's like, all right, let's see what you got.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
What
I don't. It's just me. So.
Yeah, that's remarkable because, you know, like he said, like he leans on me for stuff. I lean on him for stuff. I don't know that this would get done if we weren't both here. How do you manage your time and stay focused on all that?
Manage my time, please.
What's your relationship with time management?
It's always been toxic. No, I don't edit on purpose. Okay. Like people think that it's like super candid of me, and I'm like, yeah, but I just like don't want to because that's like work, and I don't want to do that. But also, I'm very. I have like control issues, and so if I were to try to delegate it out to anybody, it would stress me out to the point where I would like micromanage and I would become like a not good person. So I just like contain it, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just do it. It's fine.
It's funny. I have that like with my band.
Yeah.
Where I have to totally control everything. But working with him, it's just been like, oh, I trust him. He's good at it and he gets it done. Cool. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Oh, right on.
So if you find that,
we've done
hold on to it.
Yeah, we've done that a lot. Like I was in bands too. We write music together. We're in a band,
right?
that writes music together, but we're not like a band per se. But like we've both been in separate bands, and all the time we're always just complaining about our bandmates to each other and their lack of drive. And because we're always the one stuck with the bag. So
I don't do good in groups. Like I've never been like a good team player in the sense that like I just don't. Every group project I was ever a part of always ended in disaster. So I don't think I could do it. Oh, it sounds so bad.
No, it doesn't.
It's just a thing.
It doesn't.
I
mean,
just a thing.
I don't know. Like, I'm sure this is the same with you, but like the band thing, you're always just like, I just like to bounce things off people, and it's good to have extra hands and this and that. And then most bands turn into one person dragging the cart of everybody, and then you're just like, I wish I had somebody that was good at it. And then you become that person anyway. You become that like, I'm going to micromanage everything. And
you end up doing that, and that in turn makes the people you're working with work less,
right?
Because they're just like, if I do something, he's just going to redo it anyway.
Yeah,
and then you're like, why don't you help me? And they're like, you don't keep anything anyway.
Yeah, this is true.
It's a cycle.
True.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
What is your favorite like type of topic though? Like, because you do hit on a lot of like of serious topics, like so do you like jumping into those? Like we're songwriters, so that creates the best content for us as musicians. So does that translate? Is that the same for you? Like when something cuts deep and you're talking about it, is that a better episode? Is that something that you get more gratification out of than
I think so.
Your relationship with Endgame with us?
Right. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I'm like passionate about the topic that we're talking about. Like, it definitely comes across. You can tell, I think even because I cheat on my podcast. So I do one episode that's a solo episode of me on a specific topic. And then I take that same topic and then go interview somebody about that specific topic. And so that's like part 2 of it.
Right.
And it's definitely cheating because I have to do half the work, which is awesome. But you can tell, especially in those like interview like sessions episodes that I do, if I'm sort of over it or like this person isn't really like giving me kind of like what I'm asking for. Like you can it definitely comes through, or if there's some like I don't hide things very well. So like if somebody says something, like I had an issue with a guest one time that said something that I was like, I knew for a fact it was wrong. And I have had to figure out how to like not just jump in there and be like, okay, but time out. Like, hold on just a second. 'Cause, like, you can't just say
incorrect.
that. You can't just say that. And like,
well, you can, but it'll end the interview pretty quick. Probably.
Right. And so I've had to figure out how to navigate that. But luckily I haven't had that many of those. I haven't really had that many of those where I've been like, where it's been like rough. But a lot of people actually surprisingly don't want to shy away from even like the harder topics. So
well, I think there's certain things, like one of our things that we tend to ask people is like, what do you wish more people would ask you about? Like what are these topics that you love to talk about, or that you could like talk circles around someone, or you find yourself defending all the time and nobody ever asks you and you have all this information about it.
Yeah.
And so I think like you're touching in on that, where people are like, no, man, I want to talk about this. I like how do you go about deciding what the topic is going to be with a specific guest?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is that it's really funny because it'll come out like sometimes I have no idea what I'm going to talk to somebody about. And then what usually helps is I'll go and do research on that person because I want to know like what they're interested in. What do they like to talk about? What is their deal? And then I try to find something in that. But the great thing about the way that I've set up my podcast, and I think the way that you guys have set up yours too, is that just because like I pick something like Avengers Endgame doesn't mean that conversation isn't going to turn into something else.
Of course,
Right.
yeah.
And then sometimes I end up like retitling it because I'm like, actually, this is better. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I try to do.
Well, you're
So-
definitely very good at following, like, and we try to do the same thing. And it's like you can ask a question to somebody, and like you can have like, okay, I have these 5 questions set up that are here, and you may never get to question 2 because question 1 leads to something and you follow it, and some people don't follow it.
Yeah.
Some people like
Yeah.
really try and adhere to their
Stick to a
thing.
script.
And you're very good about kind of like pivoting and being like, okay, this is what it's about. Okay, this is what it's about.
Well, because to me, that's the interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I want to
absolutely.
know. Like, let's talk about it. Like, I don't know what this is. What's happening here? Why do you
Right,
think
right.
this?
Yeah, well, that's again, like, you know, we bring, you know, musicians and wrestlers and stuff like that. So, yeah, obviously we have a commonality between us, and the second they like pick something else out, you got to jump at it, because how many
Yeah.
times can you be asked?
Yeah. When
Well,
you see somebody,
how'd you
get
come up with the
passionate-
band name?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
who's your favorite match with? Like,
Right.
How did you come up with the title of your podcast? It's like, how many times can you be asked that question? So yeah, I love that. And do you have you ever had, because we generally do, we don't have it for this because we've been, you know, we've had our episode with you before, so we know that we can go down rabbit holes, and that's
Yeah,
the
we
best part.
literally, if anybody's looking, this is our notes for this episode. If you can
Those-
see, if you can't see, it is a blank screen. I just shut it off. We have none of it.
But we always go in with like a bunch of facts and a bunch of preset questions, and
Yeah.
like
We
he
were-
said, we could have 7 questions and get to one of them, and and stuff like that. Do you have that at all, or you just kind of go with it?
No, I do actually. I have 5 questions. I usually give people 5 questions, like to preview the interview. Some people have asked like not to have those, but I generally present it as a choice, to like give people like an idea of kind of like what I'm going to be asking. But yeah, most of the time though, we just sort of sometimes we don't get through, like you said, one. We just stay on topic 1. It's the best. It's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But I like to, I call them like roadmap questions, because
Yeah.
I just like to, they're just a guide. They're just to kind of give you a general idea of what I'm going to be asking and talking about. And this is sort of the direction I want to take it. But if we
Mhm.
go off topic, it's not a big deal.
We try to do the same with
Yeah.
our 7 questions. It gives you, a quick like, hey, what are you in for?
That's
Could
what
really
an
be
outline.
anything. Could be pillow talk. Could be gnomes. It could be
No.
anything.
Have you ever run out of questions? Because we've had episodes where we get up to question 7 and we're like, they gotta give us something good. Hopefully
Right.
we're
Yeah.
good. Just
You get
something
those people
good.
that give you 1-word answers. They're just like,
Oh,
There's a
no.
Yeah, there's some people that are like, I'm here to promote my shit, and that's kind of that. Or there's there's people that are just like, yeah, let's do this.
yeah.
Let's
How do you navigate
hang out.
a rough guest, or a guest that clearly is just maybe not as comfortable
Well,
getting
I
into
take
a
it.
full conversation?
I take it personally because everything's about me. And so then I put it on myself, and I actually had an interview that like the first 15 minutes you could tell I was like really trying to pull stuff out of this guest, but then I found something. And that's kind of how I always look at it, is like, you will be able to find something. There will be something. It might just
Yeah,
be
at
slow
some
at first,
point.
but once you find that thing that like they want to talk about and go into, like, that's when you just kind of let go of the reins and let them have it, because
Yeah.
that's where the passion comes out. And that's the super juicy stuff, because you can see the passion, you can feel the energy of like this person is super excited to talk about whatever the thing is. It just takes a little bit longer to get there sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I remember, you know, definitely the Eric Bischoff episode
Yes.
where we did the 7 questions, and there was just a look that Jim gave me. He's like, I think this guy hates us.
Yeah.
I think this guy really hates us.
Yeah. I was like, he is not impressed. He's not amused.
And
he is not. Right now, he is like, why did I agree to do this? And he literally told us, I've been kicking myself all day for agreeing to do this today. and we were like, all right, let's work from there.
Oh my gosh.
But he did come back, and he was like, I am, because he basically said, you got 45 minutes,
right?
And because I have company over, and then by 20 minutes in, he was like, I was just saying that as an out. Don't worry about it.
I don't even like those people.
I don't like those people. This is fine.
See, that's something I've never understood. Why do you hang out with people you don't like?
It might have been his wife's friends or something.
I just there might not have even been anybody there. That just could have been his way to get out of the podcast, and then he decided like, oh, I'll hang out a little longer, and he did. And to his credit, like he hung out a while, and it ended up being a really great show.
Yeah.
But for the first 20 minutes, I was sitting there going, this guy hates us right now.
Oh, I've had that. Oh my gosh, yes. It's so like, I start to get real antsy.
Yeah, I had the same thing, and that was one before we had gotten as comfortable kind of as we are now with going off things.
Yeah.
And so he was someone that I had prepared stuff for, and I did like deep dives into his history because I was like, I'm gonna ask him things nobody's asked him. I'm gonna ask him about like he went to school in this city for like a year. I'm gonna find weird things out about like the college in that city and like all that stuff, and he did on none of it.
Yeah.
None of it.
Oh, no.
And it was like, I just didn't, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I stopped looking at that, and we stopped worrying about it. We started just kind of like talking to him, and it was like, oh, he hunts.
I think what really got him.
Let's do that.
What really got him was the looking at things from a producer angle, and I think that's a lot of what you have to do is just kind of like, hey, can you watch wrestling from a producer angle? Because I can't listen to music without thinking from a musician angle.
Right.
I can't just be a fan. So when you're able to take somebody's perspective and go, hey, I know
what do you see?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's
and here's where it's similar to how I see.
And then at that point he was like,
now we're on the same side.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on the same side.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best feeling when you finally found that thing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like how long did it take you? Were you like good at that right from the jump, or did it take you a while to kind of like figure that out, or like
I don't really know.
Definitely have, I mean, you have an interview style, I guess, but it's really just kind of like it's a hangout conversation like it is with us,
Yeah.
But that's a style, and that's, you have to be comfortable with yourself to do that, and comfortable to do that. And as someone who is on her own show talking about how uncomfortable she is
most of the time, yeah.
You still have to be comfortable enough to like be yourself in these interviews. What did it like, how quick was that for you to be able to like get there?
I think it took me probably a couple of interview episodes, maybe like 4 or 5, to really like find my style and my groove, like what I liked. So, but those first 5 interviews were really me like experimenting and like trying to figure out like how much of this do I like talk about? Like, what do I kind of started from, let's do like an interview style, like news show kind of a thing. And then I was like, no, let's do like just a more laid back, like relaxed kind of a thing. And then I was like, no. And then I like blended the two. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with it. But yeah, I think it took me like 4 or 5 episodes to really find that.
Were there any like podcasts or shows or interviewers that you kind of like, that that you dug their style and tried to have an idea of modeling it after? Or
Oh yeah. My favorite murder.
good one, yeah.
The Dollop, the West Wing Thing, Bad Faith, Mugglecast and Pottercast, Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, a lot of writing podcasts like centered around Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I loved the styles of them. I loved the way that everything flowed and felt, and how when they brought people on to talk about it, like how it flowed and like the style and the rhythm of everything. So I tried to draw from those and sort of then create my own like little version of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, Jimsy, you think grilling season is over?
Almost, right? Or-
No.
No.
Grilling season is never over because of
Okay.
a new sponsor of ours,
Ooh, what is it?
grillyourassoff.com.
I love the name already.
Yeah. It's a veteran-owned company that sells spices, barbecue sauces, cool swag, even cookbooks.
Oh, you know what? You sent me a link to that. I checked it out. That was awesome. They had some cool recipes right on their site. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's for free. But now that they're a sponsor, they've decided that if you use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off your order.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm definitely ordering some spices. They had a couple that looked really killer.
Yeah, and it's really, there's so many different selections that there's really a spice for everybody. The guys that are like heat heads, and even the people that just want something subtle, delicious, sweet, whatever it is, they've got something for everybody.
Awesome. Did we order any? Did we have any coming?
We've got some coming,
Nice.
and we're going to do some tasting episodes over on the Patreon
awesome. So
with
stick
a little bit of
around.
grill your ass off stuff.
Stick around, everyone, because once we get those in, we're going to taste them, we're going to go through them, and then we're going to let you know what we think, and maybe give you some choices that we would kind of go for.
So once again, head over to grillyourassoff.com, use that promo code BACON, and get 10% off.
Sweet.
I don't know about you, but I'm kind of chomping at the bit here because we have a sponsor, Poddex, and what we like to do is have our guest answer something from one of these decks.
Right. So for those of you that are listening for the first time, what Poddex is Poddex is a company that creates cards. It's like a deck of cards, very similar to like Cards Against Humanity, something like that. And it'll have questions, it'll have topics, it'll have icebreakers, things like that to help podcasters and interviewers come up with ideas to do for their podcast if they're kind of stuck in a rut, or if they aren't able to just verbally
Spew
like we are.
like we normally do. Yes.
And it's a really cool company, poddex.com. If you go there, check out all their decks, check out they got cool merch, all kinds of swag, stuff like that. They're very cool, small company. And if you use the promo code BACON,
you get 10% off your whole order. Doesn't matter if it's decks, if it's swag, if it's their app.
Yep.
They have an app.
They have an app.
There's an app for that.
We are super psyched because they recently came out with new decks, and we've been using the same decks for a while. We haven't repeated any questions, which is awesome because it's just really cool. But there are two new decks that I just got the other day
that haven't even been opened.
Nope.
Like they're still in the pack, in the wrapper.
Yeah, this is also an unboxing.
All right, so there is
I'm honored.
episode deck, the interview deck, what the heck, interview deck 2, and would you rather. Those are the originals. But now Jimsy found the how dare you and the actual what the fuck.
Yes.
And I love the branding.
I love the branding. We have an old school MTV branding on the WTF one.
This is amazing.
I want
Ooh,
it
I
as a
like
t-shirt.
that.
As soon as they make a shirt of that, I'm totally buying it.
Yeah.
And the other branding is old school popcorn
Popcorn.
box, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So
you get to pick a deck. Do you
Any
want a
of the
question
decks.
from WTF, or do you want a how dare you? Either one of those. He says any of the decks. I want you to pick from one of the new ones because we just got it.
I do too. Let's do how dare you? Why
How
not?
dare you?
I like it. I like it.
So this is going to take a little bit longer than usual because
It's wrapped
The
in
plastic.
cellophane.
Because
Yeah.
it is, because it's wrapped in plastic.
So yeah, take it away, Jim.
So we already talked about pod decks. What are you drinking, by the way? What are you having over there?
Diet green tea
Ooh,
that I just spilled all over myself because I am a robot. I don't know if you knew this, but I am a robot. I'm convinced. I've failed
Nice.
those tests all the time. Oh my gosh.
the I'm a human test
Yes.
every time.
Like all of them. Just like, I promise.
I fail at least one I am a human test daily. I don't know which one it's ever going to be, but there's always something that comes up, and I'm like, nope, blew it.
Yeah.
Blew it. We are drinking Jameson. That's what we're drinking.
Per
over
usual.
here. Per usual. It's
I love that.
it's a
Your-
beautiful Sunday afternoon. where
Your
we
globe
are.
thing.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
this is Diversity 2.
Diversity 2.
It's beautiful.
There was an old not wooden ship in the middle
It's
of
a
it.
glass wooden ship.
It's a glass ship. Diversity 2. Diversity 2 because I broke Diversity 1.
How'd you do that?
I lifted it up with my hands, and my hands decided that they didn't want to hold on to it anymore, and down it went. I sunk the
Okay.
Diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Abigail. We're gonna fan these out.
Yep.
He's gonna take his fingy. He's gonna scroll it, and you tell him where to
Okay.
stop.
You tell me when to stop. I am scrolling.
Stop.
I have stopped. Oh, this is exciting. The How
I
Dare
know.
You deck. First question ever from the How Dare You deck goes to Abigail, the main weirdo from the Manic Weirdo Pixie Podcast. Abigail, have you ever committed a crime? And if so, what was it?
Have I ever committed a crime? Yes. Technically, I've committed several. But
Which one would you like to tell us about?
let's see. Well, I'll tell you about the time that I was 5 and committed a crime.
Okay.
Grand Theft
Started
pen.
early.
I took a pen. I didn't mean to take it. I borrowed it from one of my mom's coworkers, and I didn't give it back. And I forgot to give it back. And then we got in the car. We got almost all the way home, and my mom found the pen, and she was really upset. And she was like, "We have to go back now so you can give him his pen because you stole it because you didn't ask."
What kind of pen was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a big pen, but I was like 5, so I didn't know. And like my mom was trying to teach me a lesson of
Right,
like
the
you
lesson
can't just
about
take
stealing,
things
right.
from other people and without asking, kind of a thing.
Have you ever committed a crime on purpose?
Yeah,
Like knowing it was a crime going into it?
yeah, man.
See, I want to hear that story. I want to hear that story.
I want to know. I want to
I
know
mean,
if this pen was like a quail pen or like
No,
was a
it was
bic,
just
man.
like
It was a
yeah,
bic.
like this.
really?
It was about teaching your child like you can't
Yeah.
just take things from it was a pretty creative way, I thought. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Like she explained the whole thing to me. It wasn't like this big uproar or anything.
It sounded like a big to do.
That's why I'm saying I like.
No,
that
but
answer.
I
That's a
mean,
good
like-
answer, but that's a very safe answer. So I'm
Yeah, I
re-asking
mean,
the
like-
question.
I've definitely like done drugs, and we all know that like not all drugs are legal. So
It's true. That is true.
like for sure going into it at the time, like I knew that this was not something to be doing, but did it
Yes.
anyway. And guess what? Had a great time.
So crime pays, kids.
Sometimes it does.
Crime pays when it's drugs
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes.
because 99% of the times that I've done drugs that were illegal, I had a great time.
Yeah. Exactly.
I
So how dare you?
How dare you? How dare you, sir?
I'm caught up on the Bic.
Yeah, he's gonna think about that later. He's gonna be like, "What kind of pen?"
No.
was it?"
Okay, so peek behind the curtain.
Right.
A coworker of mine and I.
Oh my gosh, are we
have,
uncovering some trauma?
This is.
we
looks like it.
have a thing about stationery, and I don't know if you guys have this issue too, but if I go into a drugstore or Target or Walmart or, God forbid, a Staples, I'm like, oh, I can use all of this.
Right. Yes.
So like pens, I'll literally look at every pen and I'm like, I definitely need that. And it's like, no, Mike, you have 200,000 pens at home. You don't need it. But I look at each pen and I'm just like, ooh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but they all write
so, like,
different, you know?
Yeah.
Right. They do.
So like my coworker, he actually has a real
different than a felt tips, different
Yeah.
from, you know, like
my coworker has a real issue, and his wife is just like, put it down now. And like he buys planners. He's bought like 3 planners in the past
planners.
like 2 months.
I love
and
planners.
I'm going to
number of
just
different
cover my planner
notebooks.
up. 'Cause-
And, oh man, yeah, he's got a worse problem with me than me, because like I window shop, he like just buys it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, bringing up the pen, I'm just like, oh man, that must have been a hell of a pen, and you're like, it's a Bic, and I'm like, that's the biggest letdown.
Don't go away. We'll be back right after these messages.
On your fitness journey, extraordinary results require extraordinary action. Your training and quality of nutrition is definitely key, but adding a well-developed nutritional supplement protocol will push your results to the next level. And that's where Legacy Sports Nutrition comes in. Legacy Sports Nutrition believes that everything you want to achieve in life can be aided by optimizing human performance. All of their formulas have been professionally developed for both men and women and are made to the highest quality standards. Legacy Sports Nutrition is a brand founded and operated by athletes who have been performing at world-class levels for decades. And when I say athletes who perform at world-class levels, I truly mean it. This is NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis's company, so you know these items are absolutely championship quality. Go to LegacySups.com and use the promo code BACONPOD, and you'll receive 10% off your order. Once again, that's LegacySups.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD for 10% off your order. Set your goals, push your limits, and leave your legacy.
Do you have a favorite pen, like style?
It better be like a feather quill or something cool.
No, I don't dip.
Have you written with a quill and ink?
Not a quill, but like one of those ink pens.
Right, yeah.
I've done it with. Yes.
Like a fountain pen? Is that what they're
Yeah,
called?
fountain pen. Yes.
Have you
yes.
done the bottle of ink? And
Yes, of course, because I'm a
Absolutely.
crazy person. Yes, and I've
I
done
am
it
also.
like Slytherin green. I mean,
Right,
just like
yeah.
all of them.
I
And then
mean,
you have to melt the wax and seal it all cool.
I've never melted the wax and sealed
so
it.
relaxing. It's
I that would be so satisfying to do that.
Yeah, melting wax is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and to have your own stamp, like that would be
yeah.
fantastic.
Ooh. We need to get a stamp.
We do. We need a bacon as my podcast.
We need to talk to the budget people.
We'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, I want a stamp. What a
So,
cool
do you have
stamp.
Abigail? Do you have a favorite pen? A favorite kind of pen?
I like these black ones. I prefer black ink. So it's this Bic Velocity. It's like my favorite, just
Ooh,
sort
those
of
are
like
nice.
a normal everyday pen that I like.
Those
to
are-
They're
use.
comfortable
nice
in the
because-
hand.
They're ballpoint,
Mhm.
but also have a little bit of that, like the gel ink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see, when I'm doing like lyric writing, I never like the gel ink because I get it all over my, because I'm
That
always
is-
crossing out and stuff like that. So I'll go with more of a traditional ballpoint pen. But if it's something where I'm just taking notes and I don't have to go back and sometimes I'll do
I
I
always
take
like
notes in pencil.
I write
like
lyrics in pencil.
a pencil. Yeah.
Mechanical pencils always.
Mhm,
I don't sharpen pencils. I'm
Okay.
not-
Are you twisty mechanical pencil or
No,
Pushing
click, click, click.
mechanical?
I like the click click click.
Yeah. I don't know why I had a twisty one and I was like all excited, and then I remembered it was a twisty one and I started writing with it. I'm like, that just sucks. What am I doing?
You can't advance it right. It's
No.
weird.
and I think Jen might have gotten them for the kids, like to do their homework and stuff, and then Gavin was futzing with it, and he's like, "This isn't working." I'm like, "You put the other way, buddy."
I like the old Pilot pens, like it had the needle coming out the bottom,
and you can
it had
buy the
halfway clear with the spiral in it, and you could see it. And they wrote amazing for about a month, and then they leaked everywhere.
Yes, yeah.
That month, like everything you wrote was like this.
I know it's so, and you feel
amazing.
Cool, and it looks beautiful.
It's awesome.
But the worst was when
like calligraphy.
When you hit, for some reason, when that tip when it bent, it was like this is over.
Done. Yeah.
This is over. It'll still write well.
You write
but you're
too
just
aggressively
like,
if you're bending your.
Yeah.
I'm
so angry. It drops. People mess with you. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The pilot did mechanical pencils as well, where you refill the lead.
Have you heard that great old joke about NASA spent $2 million creating a pen that'll write in space, and Russia just took a pencil?
That is awesome.
Well, that there's a lesson in there. There's definitely a lesson in there.
Yeah, I love it.
Keep it simple.
Definitely a lesson in there for all those out there making their dick rockets. There's a lesson in there.
Oh my gosh.
Man!
And that ridiculous cowboy hat. My husband was like, "What is he doing?" I was like, "He's like one of the people, babe." And he was like,
Yes.
"I'm like, I can't. No."
I'm just a regular guy flying my penis rocket into space. That's just a regular dude. Just a regular dude.
People have too much money.
I saw that and all I could think of was like Austin Powers.
Yes. That's what
she's laughing hysterically right now.
Yeah, I am. I promise.
Austin Powers 4 and the penis rocket.
Johnson.
Yeah. We need to. Yeah, that needs to be a thing for sure.
It does. It needs to be a meme for sure.
Absolutely. It probably is.
I hope so.
No way
need
that
that
I
in my
thought
life.
of that by myself.
We'll Google it. We'll Google it later. We'll Google it. So, Abigail, we want to thank you for coming on, and we want to tell everybody that this Tuesday coming up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this was
Tuesday.
just part one.
This is part one.
Yeah.
You've got a whole other episode where we invade her show.
Yep.
And for all we know, it could be 10 minutes.
Coming in hot.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be. It's like a solid 45.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't think any of the three of us are capable of talking for 10 minutes.
Right.
No,
I agree.
That's like a whole story. Like, what are you talking about?
10 minutes? 10 minutes is a greeting.
Yeah, that's very true. So
true.
Why don't you tell our listeners and our viewers where they can find you and your awesome podcast?
On all the things. So Apple, Spotify, Audible, all the places. Just go type us into Google and that's where we are. Twitter is at MP Weirdo Podcast. _main_weirdo1 is the TikTok and the Instagram. Because we're now doing that. So that's exciting. Go watch me fail. And then you can email me at manicpixieweirdo@protonmail.com or leave me a voicemail on the website manicpixieweirdo.podcast.com.
Awesome. So guys, tune in, check it out. We are going to be traveling to her space to go invade a couple minutes of her time. And thank you guys for listening. Definitely, if you're watching on Strangerhood TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff so that you can never miss anything and you see all the cool stuff that we put up here. And we'll see you.
Most importantly, what kind of brought this about is
we
go
didn't even
to her
do
website.
This. We didn't even do this.
Go to her website. Go to our website, baconismypodcast.com, and we have an awesome T-shirt that Abigail created. She designed. It says, "I had a Thor month."
Yeah.
It's got the hammer, and it's got a nice little crushed up beer can, and the proceeds for that will go to
help
mental
support mental health, depression and anxiety, because October is Depression and Anxiety Awareness Month.
Yes.
So and I will be releasing our Avengers Endgame podcast this coming week. So it'll be my solo episode, and then y'all's episode will be coming out in October as well. So if you want to understand the joke from the t-shirt, go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, so we'll be sending it to a we haven't decided yet, I don't believe. But by the time this comes out,
well, the t-shirt's out now. You can go check out the t-shirt now at either of our websites. It is a partnership that we're doing because we're both podcasts and all three of us are advocates for mental health and advocates for Depression Awareness Month. If you're struggling, get the help that you need. We'll put links everywhere. And hey, sometimes you have a Thor month and you just need to Lebowski your way out of it.
Yeah. We get it.
Absolutely.
It happens. So definitely check that out. And we'll probably talk about that more on our podcast because we completely forgot to do it on this one.
Yeah, way to go, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
So check us out on her podcast, her feed this week.
Manic Pixie Weirdo Podcast.
And don't forget, in the meantime, always ask yourself.
Every single time.
What's your bacon?
What's your bacon? Awesome.
Yes. So, yeah. We got into things. Yeah. She got a lay of the land, how we do things here in Baconville. And if you want to hear how this keeps going, come join us.
It went well.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I'm never worried.
No.
But it could have gone either way. She could have been like, I hate these guys. But it actually went well. So
she dealt with us before.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no secrets here.
She knew what she was in for.
She knew what she was in for, and then
and we knew what we were in for.
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly. So we do have our episode of Manic Pixie out. It's about us talking about Endgame, and now we are going to talk about Infinity War.
Yeah.
Our relationship with Infinity War. So go ahead, check her feed out. Our episode will be up this week, and
she's really good. She connects it to like our fear of failure and many other like real deal things.
Right.
She's good at what she does.
Yeah, she's pretty good at it.
I know that. I know what you do.
And we actually like have some serious moments and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to see some seriousness, head on over there.
Yeah. And remember that we do have the I've Had A Thor Month t-shirt for sale right now. BaconandThePodcast.com. 100% of the proceeds go to the Mental Awareness Foundation because October is Depression Awareness Month. So check that out. Get it. Definitely, if you do buy the shirt, take a picture of it, tweet it, Instagram, whatever, with the hashtag What's Your Bacon, so that we can see it and we can check it out, and then we'll share it as well.
Exactly.
Where can they find you, bud?
You can find me personally at Me My Own Self Mike on all of the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then my band Something Heavy you can catch on all the same things at Something Heavy Music. And if you want to hear us in a more musical state, you can check us out. Bacon is my passion. Passion.
Yes.
On the Spotify's, the Apple Musics. We've got a couple of songs up there. We're going to work on a few more.
Definitely. You can even check out those songs on baconismypodcast.com. There are links to everything, as well as a link to the t-shirt. You can find me, Jimmy G Shoes, on Instagram and Twitter, and my band Craving Strange. If you go to cravingstrange.net, there is a link to everything, so check that out. We've got some new singles and new stuff coming out, so definitely check that out as well. Watch this and all the cool stuff on Strangerhood TV. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us that 5-star review. Anything else, please share us. And thank you guys so much for listening. Big ups to our BIMP squad over on Patreon. If you want to know how you can support the show, jump over to patreon.com/baconismypodcast. Thank you guys once again.
Yeah. And always remember to always ask yourself one question.
Just one. What's your bacon?